Paris, chérie, mon beau Paris, c'est toujours toi que j'aime.
Feeling drained? Well, hopefully this video will cheer you up a little bit. This is Paris Set Me Free video tutorials. In this case it's a video critique, or video appreciation I should say, of someone who came on one of my Paris photo tours. Peter from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. Peter, I've been thinking about you, hoping that the floods haven't been affecting you too badly. But what we did together was in downtown Paris in the 13th. Peter's already an accomplished photographer, so I thought we would hit the Pt.1 area. If you zoom in on this in the 13th, you start to get to some very intriguing little streets here. There you are, you see that, the Pt.1 all around here. Very famous for street art and for graffiti and little typical Paris, which is rather off the beaten track, and that's exactly what Peter wanted. So as you can see, he's a man after my own heart. I could say he did more grovelling around the streets than I did, and I'm pretty into drain covers and what I tend to call street architecture, but Peter didn't let any of these interesting structures, such as this little, I don't know if it's a drain cover or some sort of thing to help you turn water on and off, but the point is there's a superb contrast. Whoops. Where did that come from? There's a superb contrast between the metallic, industrial, hard, unforgiving metal here and the softness and irregularity of an autumn leaf. The colour's nice. The light was shining off the wetness. That's what a bit of a rainy day, which I always tell people is great, and I mean it, because if that had not been wet, giving you the highlights and the little puddles of water which come out much brighter than what's around, except in the grooves there, it would have been a pretty flat, grey, dusty scene, and this really brings the colour out. So if it's raining, think great, because often enough it will be great. One way of getting increased contrast and making use of the rain is by squatting down and taking it at an angle so that the shiny flat surfaces are reflecting the sky and the bits in shadow aren't. I don't think that he did this really. It probably wasn't necessary, but you've still got it's pretty much looking down on it, but it's still getting that effect. You see, look at that little line there between the white and the light bit, which is the sky, and the dark bit there. It's great. Really punchy stuff, and contrasts beautifully with that. I love this corner bottom left is filled in by that, and top right is this lovely jagged shape. It's very nice. So what? I mean, who wants a picture of that? Yes, but it says Paris, which is good. I always look for that little bit of a hint of where you are. Otherwise, it could be a drain cover anywhere, unless you know your drain covers. And there it is, Paris. What more do you need? Okay, let's have a look at another one. Look at the colours here. Basically, there isn't any apart from that and the odd little flick here. I think you'd agree that that has a fair amount of colour. There you go. We're talking red here, I think. Red and little bits of yellow, and apart from the odd little flick of blue or so. Well, there's a bit of blue there, and there's a bit of blue in the number and that. Apart from that, it's red all the way, guys, and I think it's good. I mean, you've got red, and the shop front, of course, and not much else. So it's a hard-hitting colour shot. The colour is almost the subject, and that does sometimes happen. And the thing is, if you can repeat that colour, it makes it all the stronger, which is what's happened here. See if I can get you the whole thing. And look out for that. Look out for shots where there is one dominant colour. Try and repeat it so it's even more in your face. And it should be repeated, I think, by something static and something that isn't. So you've got the always there shop front and the just passing through bike. I just wanted to show you what I did with this shot, because I was there, of course, and I did this. There we go. And that's my attempt. There you go. I got a bit of red. I didn't get the bike, I did have it in one shot, I think, but I didn't go for it in the end. I went for the girl who was the guy's girlfriend, I suppose, with her red helmet framed by this window, and I also included some of the uh, the bit above it because there's a bit of graffiti which fits in vaguely interestingly. The funny thing about this little shop is it was stuck in between this wedge. That's literally a triangle going back, coming out, bit of graffiti, shop sign there, and the red. Add a bit of red as well, and you've got a really funny shot. I went for that one in the end, whereas Peter went for this one, and neither is better necessarily. It's just it's a personal choice, really. You decide what you think is best, and yeah, like I said, it doesn't really matter as long as you're pleased with it. I do try to add something else apart from what's there, and I talk about that later on with a couple of graffiti shots. Sorry, jumping around here. But yeah, red is the colour here. Let's have a look at another one. There we are. Now this is a Paris street scene, and one you quite often see. It's a Vélib, one of those bikes that is on hire for not very much, trying to get Parisians to use their bikes and not their cars, or not even buses. Although it's a bit dangerous sometimes as people get used to the bike lanes. But what's happened here is he's used a panning effect by the looks of it. He's put probably a slightly slow shutter speed, maybe quarter of a second, I don't know, and zoomed along with the bike. So he took the shot with the bike moving, panning along, still panning once you've clicked. So that's important. So you start panning, i.e. following the bike and moving it horizontally before you click. You slowly squeeze down the shutter at the point where you think the background is good, and then you carry on. You don't stop your movement, your panning movement at all, until the shutter has clicked back again and closed. It's tricky to get it right. It really is. It's tricky to get the bike in the right position. It's tricky to get the bike in focus. The background will be fuzzy if you're panning and you've chosen a slow enough shutter speed, but what often happens is the bike or whatever you're following is fuzzy too, and here he's done a very good job indeed. Maybe he took 50 which weren't so good, I don't know, but he has got one that is good, which is what all you need in the end. And the thing again is to make sure that the background is worth being a background. Either it's so fuzzy that it's just a sort of atmospheric blur, or it's not fuzzy. You can see what it is, and it's worth seeing. So it's difficult to do in the street, but you can have a go. Bearing in mind that what is there should be vaguely interesting. Let's have a quick look at another one. Which one shall I go for? I'll go for this one. Haha! What have we got here? We've got somebody's legs. We've got their entire body in reflection, and we've got a gorgeous umbrella there reflected too. I love this shot. Very nice indeed. What can I say? It's someone walking along very wet streets by the looks of it. The subject is the shadow, not the person themselves, which is funny, but there is the hint of the person. There's a pretty zappy angle. There's a hint of a companion there who isn't in the shot itself. I mean, in reality. We can't see them, we can just see the legs of that one person. There's a lamppost to echo the diagonal composition here, and if you look at the umbrella, it is perfectly placed, isn't it? Very nice indeed. So that's another thing to watch out for. Reflections goes without saying, really. I'm sure you know that, but how often do you actually go for it and try and take them? One thing, you've got to get out there when it's raining, and secondly, you've got to set it up, find an appropriate puddle and go for it. Right, I'll leave it at that. I think I'll do a second one for you, Peter, because you've got about 3 more shots I'd like to talk about. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.